Welcome to the Totally Honest Cooking Show. I'm Mark. Today we're making flan. Sometimes that's called creme caramel. Caramel. Anyway, the important part is that this is the easy version. We have evaporated milk and we have sweetened condensed milk, which are cousins. We also have 3 eggs, some vanilla extract, and a 9-inch square brownie pan. The recipe I'm using came from All Recipes, and they recommended a round cake pan, which I don't have. So let's get started. We're over here on the stovetop, and we're using a large pan to melt a cup of sugar into caramel. Okay, last time, caramel. Did I say that I preheated the oven to 350 degrees? Jerkins, did I say that I preheated the oven to 350 degrees? Now, this part is going to take a little while. Recipe says medium low. And the recipe claims that this is an easy way to do it. I don't know if you're familiar with my whole shtick here. This show is about anxiety and the anxiety of cooking new things. And this recipe is easy, right? But easy recipes make me cowboy going into a town nervous. And maybe you know what I mean. It's like, this recipe is quiet. Too quiet. Right? That kind of thing. So I'm kind of afraid that I'm going to mess this up somehow. Even though I've made most of the component parts of it before. Also, this heat needs to be higher because it's not melting. Recipe says medium low. The important part is to watch the sugar. Don't walk away. And wear a glove when you transfer it from one vessel to another. Right? Don't touch the sugar. Don't lick the melting sugar off of the spatula. It's very hot and it will stick to your fingers and it will be a bad time. Now, once it starts liquefying, we're going to move it around. Notice that it will melt quickly. Your goal, again, keep it from burning and don't touch it. Now, a lot of recipes say golden for this. You're going for more of a caramel brown. You'll see what I mean in a minute. But I guess melt the sugar till it's a caramel color isn't necessarily the best instruction for people that are new at making caramel. Once you're nice and golden brown, you're just going to pour it straight into our awaiting brownie dish. Then we're going to move this around in hopes of evening out the caramel. The next part is, this next part should be the easy part. I'm cracking 3 eggs into a medium bowl. Now I'm whisking them up. Okay, I've mixed my eggs. Next up, we add our evaporated milk. This is a 12-ounce can of evaporated milk. What's evaporated milk? Milk that has had 60% of the water boiled out of it. Sometimes it's called unsweetened condensed milk. Speaking of which, we're going to throw in a can of sweetened condensed milk. This is 14 ounces. And because I want to use every spatula in the house, I got another one out. Save that lid. We're going to go ahead and pour that in. You might need to help this with the spatula. It's very sweet, very sticky. Could you make a flan or a creme caramel without this? Of course you could. It would just mean that you would have to boil milk and sugar for hours. Well, not hours, maybe like an hour and a half. I wasn't feeling doing that. Maybe I'll do that eventually, especially if you guys really like this. If you're really into flan. Also, my Midwest is showing because I really just want to say flan. Now we're going to whisk this together. Seems pretty incorporated. Now we're going to add a tablespoon of vanilla. And whisk that in too. Now this is where things are going to start getting difficult. First, we're going to pour this onto our caramel. I was a little worried about that because the recipe calls for a 9-inch circle, and that's a square. And usually a circular pan is bigger by just a little bit. So I was worried that we're going to lose volume or have too much volume or something like that. Sorry, I teach English, not math. Okay, we've put our flan pan into another pan, and now we're pouring water in until we hit the 1-inch mark. You don't need to measure this. I am, because I'm insane. The reason behind this is that as the water heats, it'll heat the flan evenly so that our custard heats evenly. We're going to put this in our 350-degree oven. We're going to check it at 50 minutes, and we're going to pull it in an hour if it's not done. We want it to be jiggly, a jiggly jiggly. After another 5 minutes, I'm not sure I can spot a difference. There is a slight jiggle at the center, but the whole thing kind of jiggles, to be honest with you. See? Anyway, I'm going to cool this until it's room temperature on this wire rack, and then we're going to fridge it. Okay, once it's cooled to room temperature, we're going to get out our plastic wrap. You're going to go ahead and pat it down directly over the flan. You're preventing it from getting a skin. After that, you can wrap it like normal. And once it's fully covered, we're going to refrigerate it overnight. Okay, it's the next day. Everything's firmed up. I'm going to run a knife around the outside, around the outside, around the outside. This is where if I'm going to mess it up, I'm going to mess it up. Okay? So everybody cross your fingers. And we have a beautiful flan with some leftover caramel sauce in our pan. So it doesn't look like we're going to get all of the sauce. The best we can hope for is to break the bits off of the sugar and drizzle. It's that easy. Homemade flan. Okay, leave a comment down below. Let me know how I did. Like, subscribe, ding the little bell, and I'll see you next time. Bye.